Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Bi-Weekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
Good evening. Welcome to the Wednesday, June 11th, 2025 meeting of the Exeter Water and Sewer Advisory Committee. My name is Bob Kelly. I'm the chair of the committee. To my left is Carl Wickstrom, a member of the committee, and to my right is the Select Board Representative Dan Chartrand. We will begin with a notification of the whereabouts of our meeting minutes for March 12th, 2025. These are written in draft form and were posted on the town website. So if there are any discussions about those minutes, please get a hold of the web coordinator. They will relay those modifications to me, and we will update the minutes. But otherwise, they will stand in a draft form as posted. We'll get right into water and sewer bill abatements. We have 6 this evening. Larissa, I think you're up first. There you are.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Great, thank you. I reached out to the board requesting an abatement for my last 2 water and sewer bills. I wouldn't normally do this, but this has been one of those circumstances where it's been sort of a challenging year financially for me. And also, I just didn't realize, well, I feel awful that I was using all this water that I didn't even realize was happening. But essentially, I think the first bill came, I don't even know, and I apologize for not knowing. I know it's the last two bills. One water bill is for like $800 something, and then the one that I paid is for almost $800, $700 and something dollars. And the first one had to do with, well, they both had to do with a leaky toilet in my home that I didn't realize was leaking, and there was a lot of water. I should have called the town sooner, but I didn't. It's just been one of those winters. So my children's father passed away the end of December, I mean, we're divorced, but it was just really awful. It was a sudden occurrence. My son didn't go back to school. My daughter couldn't sleep. I wasn't sleeping. I was exhausted. Anyway, and now there's, the lack of any sort of financial support on that end. And then by the time I realized that I owed so much money in water, sewer bills, I realized how financially difficult it is without any support. And even though, and he passed away suddenly without any estate planning. So, but in any event, the good thing is my kids are doing a little bit better. But it's just been financially extremely challenging for me this year. And when I reached out to the town, the person I spoke with was lovely, and she recommended that I apply for an abatement. As soon as I realized there was an issue, because I thought it was a mistake, they sent Ed over to my house, who was great, and he found the problem, diagnosed it, and like the next day I had my plumber over to fix it. So as soon as I realized it, I took care of the problem. So that's why I'm asking for the abatement.
Thank you for the overview.
Okay.
And we're sorry for your loss. I appreciate you explaining the situation, and
I let
it's a
my mail
difficult time.
pile up, and I didn't look, and I don't usually do that, but yeah.
Well, it looks like usually we don't provide abatements for 2 billing periods, but in this case, it looks like because we were going through a staffing transition at Public Works, it looks like you were not notified of the first high usage situation, which, presumably, if nothing else, you would have at least contacted us and gotten the problem fixed. So that is on us. And again, I would say, certainly this is, I would recommend that we abate for the 2 billing periods based on the fact that she didn't get a notice.
Yeah, I agree.
And
with
due to
that.
the hardship, I would say 80%.
I would say we give a higher abatement on the second notice than we do on the first, because she might not have had any excess at all had she gotten the notification.
Well, you said the second notice, but you meant the second bill?
The second bill.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I said notice, I meant bill.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on what I kind of mean by notice.
So what would you think on the first bill do, what, 50%, and the second one 80%?
I would say 100% on the second one. I feel like it's kind of our fault that we didn't notify her.
What do you think?
I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
I want to make a motion to that effect. I move that we do a 50% abatement on excess water and excess sewer on the February bill as listed, and a 100% abatement on the May bill as listed.
I'll second that.
Okay, so 50% on the first one was 6390 plus 10123,
Yeah, 165.33.
and then 100% 14068 plus 22292. So it's been moved and seconded. Hey, Mom. Moved and seconded to approve a 50% abatement on the first bill. Usually what we do, our policy is that if it's within the meter, then it's the homeowner's responsibility. But, the last few years, we've been sort of meeting you halfway and doing a 50% abatement.
An explanation on the 50% abatement is 50% of the excess
of what
the
you would,
total bill.
over and above what you would normally do.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And we're adding for the second bill because you probably would have fixed it sooner and you wouldn't have had the leak in the second one if not for the notice that wasn't sent on our part, that we are recommending a 100% abatement of the excess on that one. So let's see, so it's around 164, 304, so about $525 roughly total we would abate to you.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion?
No
All those
further
in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? I'll call you abstaining since you didn't hear the
Since I
discussion.
just got, I trust you all, but happy to abstain.
Okay, so you'll get a notice with that information. And
Okay.
again, we're sorry for your loss and hope things straighten out for you.
Yeah, no, they're starting to. I really appreciate that consideration. Thank you very much.
You bet.
The final amount is $528.73. That's what it adds up to.
Great. Thank
Okay.
you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet. Okay, so the next one is 131. Well, actually, since you're, what address?
Housing Authority?
16 Linden Fields?
Correct.
So we'll do that one next, since you're here, not in the comfort of your own home.
Suns at baseball playoffs right now.
Okay.
They're 7-0 and he just scored a couple.
So if you want to set up the table so we can get you on the mic.
Yep.
So we got your letter. I'm assuming, is that you who wrote that? Are you Antonio?
Antonio Texera is my executive director.
Okay.
My name is CJ Harding Smith, the maintenance supervisor of facilities.
Okay.
You do see the letter that my executive director had sent out with specific dates. Everybody have a chance to read it?
Yes.
Yeah, so it looks like you had a series of leaks and events over the course of a few months.
Correct. We were notified by Desiree at the Department of Public Works.
Bless you.
We got our notice for usage. So we reached out to the residents, asked if there was any abnormal, toilets running, things of that nature, before we had to enter all 15 units. So then there was one report of slow turn on with a flapper, slow leak. I had a 1.28 gallon flush, brand new renovation that we've done over there, which we've renovated quite a few units, so there's lots of new fixtures on this property. Then we received, and that was the only report from 15 units. Then we received another letter. That's when myself and maintenance staff proceeded to, immediately we handed out a notice to the residents that we're going to enter. We went through 20 toilets, dye strips from the Department of Public Works that I had received in previous years, and I always use the dye strips. They're perfect to detect leaks with toilets. Checked all hot water heaters. There was one that we had found that the pressure relief valve and hot water heater had failed, and that pressure relief valve actually has an irrigation line that goes out behind the building, and it was under snowpack. Now, during the time frame, it's January, February. You've got snowpack, you've got ground freezing up to sometimes 48 inches into the ground. So, was able to find that being a hot water heater, steam emitting. So, immediately let the resident know what we found. Water turned off to that unit immediately. He actually was a fairly new move-in that he's like, we don't need to take showers. I'll take a shower at my girlfriend's. Okay, that's perfect. So on that following week, we had that. It was early in the week with zero usage. We had that hot water heater replaced and all fittings and mixing valve. Full rebuild on that hot water heater system. Then we received another, and that's when it was disclosed to us that it was 300 gallons per hour. Now, with the charts don't really break it down by the minute or the hour. They break it down by the day. So when you review the actual usage, that's where you see major problems. So now we're into March. Now, then you got the spring thaw. The spring thaw, I and myself and Tony Texera, we walked the property now on the exact same line and path of the water main through the whole property. There is the main water line runs behind 3 buildings, all sistered together, and it's the last building in line. And by the wood line, there was some ponding that had happened in an exact spot that we had walked through. So that water had been encapsulated under the freeze line, the frost line. And this is as we're looking at the irrigation lines that are connected to the, not irrigation, but it's an irrigation line that's for the pressure relief valves of all the hot water heaters. So
that was related to the hot water heater issue, not the earlier toilet issue.
Nope, toilet issue was a minor weeping flapper that really wouldn't even be a considerable amount, as in 300 gallons an hour. So once we got that notification from the DPW of how much usage, we walked through again. Now, the hot water heater pressure relief valve, they go on, they go off. Still, once again, not at 300 gallons. That's when we're like, this has got to be an underground break. But in the middle of dead of the winter, January, February, good luck finding an underground break. It, in turn, it's 6 feet below ground.
So it was more than just the pressure relief on the hot water tank. It was a broken line.
It was a broken line is what was found.
And it was buried 6 feet deep, and yet do you think
6 feet deep.
You think it was freezing that broke it? 6 feet under? What broke the line?
Possible age?
Okay. Do you have an estimate of how old it is?
The property was 1981. However, the freezing, I mean, being 6 feet, it gets about 4 feet deep.
Is that a PVC pipe?
Correct.
So your water supply is PVC?
Yeah, it's a schedule.
Your answer right there.
A potable water, early 80s. Design.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much to crack that.
No. And if you remember, we also had that earthquake. Not that that has possibly anything to do with it, but it might have helped loosen it up earlier. So we went through every single motion that we could in maintenance and Exeter Housing Authority, as we've done in the past, and corrected many issues. So on the corner of the backside of unit number 11, building A, once that ground was now spring thaw, we found it. And it was ponding in the back right corner, wood line. It goes out towards the wood line. And like I said, we walked right over that area. And the amount of water that it was draining out, once that excavator pulled in next day, it was amazing. The ground was moving, put it that way.
It's 5 gallons a minute. I mean,
pretty nerve-wracking moment.
So looking at the volume here between mid-February and late March when it was fixed, I mean, so the hot water heater as well as the toilet really had nothing to do with this. The usage here is due to that underground pipe.
Exactly. Yeah, with a hot water heater, a pressure relief valve, and a minor, brand-new toilet with a little bit of water weeping past a flapper. And the resident didn't even notice that the fill line was turning on and turning off. It was that minuscule. And they have a baby, too. And so, I mean, they're attuned to light sounds, put it that way. So the flapper and the pressure relief valve and the hot water heater is not
It
the
looks like that
culprit.
could be at most 15% of your excess during that time, at most.
I'm
I'm just looking
sorry.
at when it kind of went down, thought maybe that's when you fixed it. It looks like there's a slight dip in late February, around the February the 25th. I'm looking at the chart with the daily usage.
Okay.
I don't know what page it is. Page 101 of the Insight Report.
Page 101, Insight Report. Page out there.
I don't know if you got that or not.
So the check marks that are in the intermittent leak column, March 20th and 21st, that was the immediate fix.
Right.
As you see, it goes from 8,800 down to 4,919. The
Well, at a minimum, it would appear that a full abatement of the excess sewer use
That's what I was
is in
thinking,
order.
yes.
Unfortunately, that's the highest amount.
Unfortunately for DPW.
And I guess it depends on it's not really something that they would have found, but
And the reason for that is it didn't go.
didn't go in the sewer.
Most of it's
Went
underground.
into
That's
the
why I was
ground,
trying
so
to
they didn't
determine
use the
how much
sewer
of it was the
service.
toilet, because it did go into the sewer, but it's not much.
It
None of
irrigated-
the
it
hot water went
irrigated
to
the
sewer,
lawn.
so-
And then I guess we could say 50% of the excess water.
How much would that end up being?
And end up being about 10 grand, a little over 10 grand. I guess you could argue a higher amount on the excess water because they couldn't really find it, but
And when you have a major pipe break like that, as very seasoned maintenance and construction professional, there was no line loss with the units. There's 5 units that pipe feeds. So
well,
if
that
there
looks
was
like a good-sized pipe. So,
Yeah.
it wasn't,
Yeah.
you wouldn't see
no line loss.
a reduction in pressure because the pipe is probably 3 times oversized.
I'm looking at the picture, you've got the PVC 45L there.
Correct.
And is that a chunk out of that joint I see, or is that dirt?
Is it this picture right here that you're looking at?
No.
This is the broken,
Oh, okay.
and the
Okay.
next one is the repair.
Oh, that's after it's repaired. Okay.
Yeah, right
Okay.
here is the actual
All right.
repair. There's 2 couplings there.
Right, I see that.
High-pressure couplings, they actually work like Chinese finger cuffs.
Okay. So the brake, obviously, it's not, they still had service, so the brake there
Yeah.
is, while significant, I can't tell where it is.
Yeah.
Just by
yeah.
looking at your picture.
Yeah, that's where color photos kind of help.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
But I presume it's in that PVC.
Once we
joint
located it, it was fixed in less than 24 hours, fully excavated, notices handed out, and every resident was in 100% agreement that, they knew what we were going through. Multiple entries into their homes, and which our residents are extremely responsive when we have any issues that arise.
So, I would move a 50% abatement on the excess water at $2,449.79, and a 100% abatement on the excess sewer, as they did not use the sewer. And we're going to sort of assume that the leaky toilet and the water tank were superfluous to the situation. So that's $7,766.80 for a total of $10,216.59. I will make that motion.
I second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of an abatement of $10,216.59 signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, opposed? it's a vote. You'll be getting a notice accordingly.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thanks for your swift action once you found it.
I mean, all hands on deck when a situation like that arises, and including our contractors. We have a great communication within this town with the Department of Public Works and Highway and Sewer, and everybody down to Swayze Parkway and Parks and Rec. So, being a town entity,
Yep.
sometimes you do have to, reach out, and one hand washes the other, right? So
Same pair of pants, different pockets.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a wonderful town. Really, I've worked for Exeter Housing for 9 years as maintenance supervisor, and 107 units, 4 properties.
Yeah. Thanks for your work.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good luck getting to that game.
I know. Go team.
I know. Yeah, they're
So
over in
exciting.
Hampstead. I live in Chester, and it's his first year with kid pitch stuff.
Yeah.
He's only 9. Well, everybody have a great night.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming out.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Oh, there she is.
Hi. What is your name, please? Can you hear us?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I'm Joanne Haggerty.
Hey, Joanne.
Joanne Haggerty,
What is your address?
89 Hayes Park.
Thank you.
Correct.
Okay.
I've lived in town for 40 years, so I think that I know everybody, but I really don't. So that's why I had to ask your name.
I thought my name would show up on the screen, so I didn't know whether
No,
you
it didn't for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, so 89 Hayes Park.
It's the classic toilet in the
Yeah.
unused guest suite.
Exactly.
The
Very
classic,
common, very
yeah.
common problem.
I have lived my whole life with these issues, and I'm very attuned to them. And I don't know why I didn't hear this, but it was going on
Yeah.
probably like for 20 days maybe, until I noticed it. And that's when I notified the town right away with an email. And Desiree had people out here to check the meters and whatnot. The same time I noticed it, I guess that's when the town noticed it, because I ended up getting a letter the next day. But unfortunately, it wasn't found for like 20 days or so. So when I noticed it, I totally turned the water off, and I got someone to come in and take a look at it. Turns out I needed a whole new toilet, so I've gotten that fixed in the meantime.
Okay.
That's about it.
That's,
Plastic run toilet.
I think that's all we need. This is sort of a classic.
It's unfortunate that it went
Not the
for
first
so
time.
many days, of course, but
Trying to find this.
Okay,
quite
so
dramatic increase.
any discussion about Ms. Haggerty's situation at 89 Hayes Park? Well, I'll move things along. It looks like
Okay,
this would be a 50% abatement of excess water and sewer.
I agree.
252.38 plus 399.74 for a total of 652.12.
I'll move that.
Second.
So we moved and seconded a motion to give you a 50% abatement of the excess water and sewer that you use, basically meet you halfway.
Okay.
And that comes to a total of $652.12 that you'd be abated.
Okay, well, I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, you'll be getting a notice
Thank you.
from the department.
Okay, very good. Have a good night. Thank you,
Thank you.
folks.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? It doesn't look like, so we'll go in order. Go to 131 Court Street. So this looks like a property manager situation. Not quite sure why a pipe on a terrace was still full of water.
It's a good question. I also don't understand. Okay, I guess I can't. I'm looking at the daily usage, and the amount of excess seems low compared to the daily usage drop off. I don't quite understand how they came up with that. Yeah. I'm confused. It's got an abatement calculation there.
Yeah, I mean, I have a problem with commercial operations that don't manage their facilities. I mean, everybody, if there's an accident or a seldom used
Well, I'm just
room or
talking
something
about
like that.
I'm just talking about the math. You know, you go down to the monthly usage as of May 12th, 2025, last page, and it looks like there's a huge drop off. You know,
Yeah.
we're really high and then down again. If you look at the daily usage, it looks like it was really high and then down again. And then you look at the abatement as a percentage of the bill, it's really low. I mean, I just don't understand the
Well, my guess is
math.
it doesn't look like there's much usage at all. There was a period of 2
Yeah.
weeks or a week,
Well,
2 weeks,
but the bill was,
where there's no usage.
Yeah, is this like a,
but the bill, where's the
could this be like a
bill is $1,200.
Airbnb kind of thing?
I don't think so.
I mean,
Or was there just
it's
not-
hard to say.
Oh, yeah.
131 Court Street.
But
How far down is that?
the bill is $1,200, and you're saying the excess is only,
Oh, is this the condo?
Could be.
and the excess
It's like a
is,
U-shaped condo?
Yeah.
Could be.
and
There used to be.
Just one unit.
and the excess is only is $200, 100%. That would mean you're getting a regular bill of $1,000. If that's if that's all the excess is, I don't understand the math.
It is the.
When I'm looking at the difference in usage and I look at the difference in the bill,
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't,
mean,
doesn't add up.
We can delve into it. And, you know, the person at Public Works who normally did this, you know, left a couple of months ago. So
Okay.
Des has been getting up to speed. And I think
She gives details
she was
here.
trained and all that, so I think everything's fine.
2 beds, 4 baths. What?
It's hard to say.
2 beds, 4 baths.
That feels unreasonable.
Oh, they have? Is there like a couple of half?
I mean, so they said there was a lot of usage, and then they fixed it, and it literally went away to nothing, the whole unit. So I wonder if it was
Yeah, it's not,
just empty.
Yes.
is it on? Oh, you didn't check
But
that.
I still don't get the, I don't get how.
Well,
You want corner?
the key is what the usage was last year.
Right, I understand
Which-
that. I'm trying to find that.
Yeah, which we
That
don't,
would-
I don't think we have.
Well, that's probably why I can't find it.
It doesn't go back that far. Well, actually, it
Yeah,
does.
here, it's
There's no
blank.
usage.
It's blank.
Yeah, Axiom Investment.
So there's,
So it's
So they
probably
have
like a
no-
corporate,
This
maybe a
seems
corporate
like-
unit or something like that.
yeah, so in January, in January of '25, it was 4,000.
Then it was 21,000.
And then it was
and all last
21,000
year
in
was
February. And then all of '24, you got nothing. So how do you calculate
Yeah,
a
it's not focused
excess
on-
usage when you had nothing last year? I guess it's all excess, or it's none of it's excess. And they went with the none of it, apparently.
Well, I think what she probably did is, in the absence of data, she used what the usage is, was in,
Oops.
because if you look from the end of March through May, it was, 190 gallons a day, roughly.
Okay,
Let's say 100 gallons a day on an average.
Right.
So something was going on in there, of some sort, so she probably used that as the baseline.
well, she did,
But it
though.
still doesn't
It doesn't do the math.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't match up.
I would agree with that.
There's
That's how
some
it's
kind of
good.
sporadic occupation happening there. Or occupancy.
Yeah,
I mean, in the absence of an explanation from the applicant, I'm gonna side with our Public Works Department that they did the analysis of some sort,
okay.
and that's what I would go with. And if they want to challenge the abatement, again, I have a problem with the fact that there was an outside pipe that was not managed,
Yeah.
for a
Well, I mean,
commercial operation.
I'm okay with no abatement, but I mean, 50% at most is the way I'm thinking on something.
Well, I would
like
agree.
this.
And then
You
the,
would agree with none
Why?
or 50%?
I would agree.
So
'Cause
the
it
problem
doesn't-
was there was an exterior line that was not drained and it froze and
That's
broke.
what happened.
So nothing went to the sewer, presumably.
Yeah.
They don't really say that, and we don't have
Say
anyone
one
to
way or the
ask.
other.
Yeah, I would just abate the sewer, but
sewer?
not the water. That would be.
I think
my
that's a reasonable
recommendation.
compromise.
Because
They're
you're,
going to abate 100% of the water and zero of the sewer, or 50
Vice versa. 100% of the
most?
sewer.
I would make a motion that we abate 100% of the sewer, wastewater, and nothing on the water, because it was an exterior line that should have been drained by
Okay.
the owner.
I'll second that.
But I don't have the numbers.
That's $209.84.
Yeah, zero on water, obviously, and then the 100% on the sewer is 209.84.
So 209.84.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
And the bill was $1,204.
Interesting.
For that pipe outside?
Okay, so moved and seconded for 100% excess sewer abatement of $209.84. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Okay,
We're down 2 to go.
Oh, post office.
Did we do the front street or the post office?
That's it, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
post
let's do
office.
the post office.
That's
the
Front
next
Street,
line,
right?
34 Front Street.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
another big one.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is, again, it just seems like they were chasing something around and not necessarily effectively.
Yeah, well.
I mean, from January to May, they were
They're-
chasing around leaks. And to have a high, what do they characterize it as, a highly pressurized line,
Yeah.
so that the toilet couldn't keep up and it flooded. I mean, you didn't notice that before, that didn't manifest itself.
Can you
before?
repeat that, Bob? So this is actually at the post office?
This is actually at the post office. And they, in their notification, they said that you couldn't read the screen and the meter was faulty, and then the Public Works Department wrote a section
Yeah.
and said that that was not true. They said, yes, the screen was hard to read, but, Ed's been doing this for 40 years, so he could read it.
Wait, they said our reading was incorrect?
They said the screen could not be read. This is the post office
Right.
facilities people. They looked at the meter and said it couldn't be read. Our guy was able to read it and do a data download. And they said also, and because of the age of the meter, it just sort of came up and we decided to replace it. The post office folks took that to mean that it was faulty.
Yeah,
And
they said it was
in the
faulty.
Public Works write-up, they said that's not true. It just happened to be on the cycle to
And
be
all this
replaced.
was about a toilet?
Well, it's hard to believe there's this much leakage just
It,
from the
it,
toilet.
it does say that. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
what is
still
it?
And it was
the
this-
repair was made.
Water had to be shut. It says according to the field maintenance, U.S. Postal Service field maintenance folks, the water was extremely pressurized, and the toilets were constantly flushing. I'm not quite sure why what one
And
would
how
have
long
to
did
do
this
with the
go on?
other.
This went on for
Oh, but it must
2 months?
Several.
It doesn't have a flapper valve, I guess. It's one of those valves that seats itself, spring-loaded, as opposed to a flapper.
And they didn't catch it?
Yeah, I mean, it
That's
went
gotta
on
be what it was.
for 4 months.
Yeah. That can't be a flapper valve. There's no way a flapper valve.
Right,
is
right,
that
right.
much. It's got to be a stuck-open valve.
So there must be some sort of
So
Possibly.
just,
weird
flush.
drainage.
the water was just,
But
Yeah,
but
just
that had to
constant.
manifest itself earlier. I don't know
Yeah.
why they just found it now.
Well, it was stuck running. I've run into those
And it
toilets.
flooded inside the facility.
oh, they did have a flood?
That's
Yeah.
what they said. And the water had to be shut off. And then they said, again, there's a small earthquake in the area. So the
Oh, we're
earthquake is
using the
getting
earthquake.
blamed for everything.
That was last, what, November, December?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was playing bridge at the time. It was on a Monday.
But it just, I mean, the sheer amount of water is breathtaking.
Yeah. That's just, well, I
Is
can
it-
understand
it
it
is a-
being that much.
And
If
they
the
don't have
valve
public
was stuck
bathrooms, so
open-
it's
Is
just
it a
employee
toilet that
bathrooms.
wasn't being used?
I
Is that how they didn't notice
I
that
don't know.
that much water was going?
But according to this, the current charge, the previous balance was about $890, a little less than $900. And,
For a
and
quarter.
for a quarter. In this period, it was $22,000.
How do you,
I
how do you
don't
use
know. I mean, that's
$900
like a
worth of
fire hose.
water? But no, let's just go to the baseline. How do you use $900 of water with one toilet?
Well, that's not the only, I mean,
Oh, okay.
that's not the only.
There's
toilet.
other,
There's other functions. That's the baseline is the $900.
Well-
And they got other water in there, right? Not just the one toilet. Is that the
Well-
only water they got?
They don't have public toilets, so it's just employee toilets. So how many employee toilets do you think they have?
I would think
There's-
they got a men's and a women's.
Well,
Are there
that's
some
that's
other-
true.
One.
That's still a lot of, that's still a lot of use.
are there some other government offices in that building?
I don't think so.
No.
They're just
Well,
using
not
it
to
as
my
a postal
knowledge.
facility.
Right, because you can't even get well, I guess you can get a. for-
There's a side entrance.
Yeah, but that's for the mail sorting.
Okay. On the front, there's like an old, like ag department entrance or something. But that's not used, right?
Okay. What does Ed have to say on this? Yeah, so the first event, so our staff hand-delivered the high usage letter to the post office.
Because it was so much.
Yes. And there was and they were told, there was a plumber on site when our folks went there.
And did that
And
resolve it?
well, that was in January.
They had another.
The water department was not contacted until April.
The usage in January was 355,000 gallons. The version in February
So basically, they
was
forgot to tell us.
almost 200,000.
They forgot
So
to
They did
tell
not
us.
fix it in January.
I'm sorry?
There was 355,000 gallons in January and 196,000 gallons in February. It did not get fixed in January. It got fixed in February, even though we don't have
Right.
a daily.
And because they waited until April to actually say that it had been repaired, our data downloads only go back for the quarter.
But-
So that that exceeded the timelines.
Yeah, you can't
So
see
they
the
couldn't go-
daily, but there's still the monthly. We've got down here on the last page, District 2 monthly usage. And it goes back as the monthly. And you can tell from that it wasn't fixed when they.
I mean, I almost want to, talk to our folks a little
You
bit
wanna
more
carry
and find it,
this
because that seems like a lot of usage for one toilet.
So you want to table this?
I would recommend tabling it.
It's a lot of
I
money.
second, if that's a motion, I might make a motion to table this.
I'll second.
There we go.
It's also like, is this?
Because this is just.
All those in favor
information.
signify by saying aye,
Aye.
Aye.
I,
and I'll find out from Ed.
self-sustaining.
Right, and we don't want to chase our.
I'm a huge fan of the post-it.
Okay.
They pop-
Last one, 38 Pine Street.
Make sure I'm looking at the right one, yeah. I'd say this is 100% on the sewer, 50% on the water. It's out of an irrigation line.
This is the one that came to us last.
Yeah.
I have that one. I think I deleted the first.
What do you think, Bob?
I just
Read
need
it.
to get up to speed.
Okay, I'm
real
sorry.
quick.
It's pretty short, so it's,
So was it a toilet?
no,
Oh,
it was an
the
irrigation line that he didn't
Right,
know
so that's-
existed, buried
That's the
underground.
excess.
Oh, that was, and there was like some valve that he didn't even know was there.
Yeah. They got it fixed right away. We don't have a usage line, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, there is one, yeah. Yeah, it ran for
So
over,
50%.
about a month.
50% water, 192.70. 100% sewer, because it didn't go into the sewer,
That's my,
574.
550, 543.
what?
No, 574.
574 or 60 plus, that's only, if we only do 50% on that.
50% of water,
Oh, of excess.
100% of sewer.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I grabbed the wrong number.
I mean, maybe we should just do 80% of the sewer, I don't know.
Well, if it didn't go into the sewer, it didn't go into the
Yeah,
sewer.
exactly.
So,
That's my
I mean, so that's 6. What is it?
760,
74,
730.
6, 766.30. Is that what we get? No, wait,
67.
Don't be doing the-
767.30.
Get the calculator out.
Yeah, I would move $767.30 in abatement, and that would be 100% of the excess sewer and 50% of the excess water.
Second.
Yeah, that's right. A second, or if you don't, unless somebody else already
Molly
seconded.
got it.
Yeah, actually, I third it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Yeah, it'd be good to get more info on the post office.
Yeah, I'll find out from Ed what's going on there. We're actually in really good shape financially, despite taking money out of reserves for the siphons and the septage facility over the last few years. We're in pretty good shape, so I don't think we're going to have to adjust rates this year.
So that rate study was
It's been
good.
great, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Right on the
money-
beam.
Money we're spending. The only other item I have is the groundwater exploration project, just a status. We did finally get the report back from the hydrogeologist. And the good news is that there's about 20% more water that we found during the pump tests than what was estimated.
That's
So
awesome.
It's not one of these deals where we think we have a lot of water and we don't, which is what we've had over the
Usually.
last 10 years.
Right.
So that is good news. We're starting the permitting. We have to go through a series of public hearings with people in abutting towns who are potentially affected by this, which, we'll see how that goes.
And there was some monitoring of,
Yep, there'll be some ongoing monitoring, but everything seems to be looking good with the academy on,
oh, that's coming together?
having we'll have a long-term easement with them. I don't know if that's been memorialized yet, but I know that we were all sort of just dotting i's and crossing t's at this point. So that should be motoring ahead this year and hopefully start construction next year.
Great.
Good.
What's the status of the Pickpocket Dam project?
Well, it was voted in, or voted to remove it.
Right. Have they,
I think it's just in line, the Public Works
It
Department.
did
makes
receive,
things-
I know it received one smaller grant, and there's some other grants that we've applied for, we're waiting to hear on, so.
okay. We did get the one that they came
Right.
forward about.
And I think, so the town overwhelmingly approved doing it, and now we're going after some auxiliary grants.
Yeah, but it's not
See if we can
contingent
defray
on,
the cost.
it's not contingent on the grants.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
town wants it out.
Okay, so next meeting is tentatively scheduled for September. There are a couple of,
What's the date in September? Is it the second
it would
Wednesday?
be, let me just,
Did we already put it in? I think it's the 10th.
I think it probably is on the town website.
It should be
but-
the 10th if it's the second Wednesday.
Yeah, I would say it's, probably.
Which day?
Wednesday, the 10th of September.
At 6:30 in this room?
Yeah, and I will confirm that, obviously.
It looks open for me.
That's the,
I'll go ahead and put it in the calendar.
You're not running south by then,
No, that doesn't happen until November.
so you'll
and
miss
that's
one
for
meeting.
6 months, right?
No, I'm going to do 5 months down there and 7 months up here.
Okay.
I like New Hampshire.
Well,
better.
that's fine. We'll just have to make sure Alan, or the three of us, we have 5 members now, so that's good.
Yeah, and you're saying, and what was mentioned of Zoom, I could try to do that if you guys want.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that is true. Okay. Any other comments, questions?
No.
Would you like a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
So
Ian,
moved.
And Carl likes to have short meetings, so I'll dial him in a second. Motion to adjourn. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Adjourn at 7:20. Thank you, everyone.
Wahoo. How you doing?
Okay. Had a great board meeting today.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
A lot of work for you. Your trip looked good?
It was so fun.
Yeah, Utah's cool.
Utah is cool.
I have a cousin that just moved there,
Where?
Park City.
Oh, nice.
He's a longtime professional water skier
Oh, fun.
and runner and biker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he's like,
The outdoor paradise.
yeah, he's,
Oh, Utah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Oh, sorry.
there you go. Everyone heard about
Thank
my
you for
cousin.
tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.